I'll let you handle that because I had no input on that one.
In the beginning, me and one of my bridesmaids, one of my best friends, had actually gone out and looked up a couple photographers, and we actually had already signed a contract with a different photographer and explained to him that we were doing both a Sikh Indian wedding and a Christian ceremony, and they were going to be over several different days. And he at that time told us that he was comfortable doing it. He had never done it before, but he was going to be comfortable and he would, you know, take that project on no problem. And about a month or two after we signed the contract, he called us back and said that he was no longer comfortable doing it. So we had to go and search for another one. And my friend at the time had actually been to a couple of shows where Alan had, I guess, showed some of his photography, and she was really impressed and said that I would be too. So we set up an appointment and came in and was blown away. I can remember. I mean, it was beautiful. I just remember seeing lots of pictures on the wall, and there were lots of albums on the table, and you know, we got to go through them and just kind of get a feel for the different types of, I guess, styles that you or your team were able to do, whether it was like that photojournalistic style, if it was just straight on posed pictures. And I mean, I thought all the pictures were just marvelous. So
kind of elaborate a little bit on what she said earlier. So I knew that she is going to pick somebody that is able to do a lot of variety because of the difference and just the different styles of both our weddings are going to be. Because I mean, I had a traditional North Indian wedding and she had a very traditional Christian wedding. So we needed somebody to be very flexible, very variety oriented, and who could do multiple styles of photography and deal with multiple cultures, multiple characters and personalities. So when she told me who she picked, I was, you know, I'm a little hesitant because I've never met you, and my family, everyone in my family, all the weddings that have ever happened, there's always been an Indian photographer. Yeah. That's kind of like one of those things like, oh, you're having an Indian wedding, you gotta have an Indian photographer because
only the Indian photographer knows how to capture an Indian wedding and
knows how to deal with the people. And so I was a little reluctant because, you know, Mick was saying, oh, Alan, he's American, and but when she told me, that's going to be really great because the variety that I saw on the website and just in your work, that's what reassured me. So
yeah, it was still a little hard trying to convince, you know, the parents.
Yeah, at least my parents
that it could be done and that it was going to be done, you know, capturing the moments the way they wanted them to be captured.
Right.
When did they come around?
Actually, the day of the wedding, I think it was when they actually saw you taking the pictures and you were able to, like I said, it was chaotic, as most weddings are.
You know, when they really, for me, when they really came around was, actually, I was actually kind of blown away by your expeditious manner of putting the wedding pictures during our reception, and people saw your work during our reception, and that's when we had countless people come up to us and talk about the actual pictures. So I mean, the fact that you did that, you turn around in less than 24 hours, that sold a lot of people. I mean, that was great. That actually sold me. I was like, when did that happen? I don't remember that. So, that's what sold me.
Yeah. So I think it was, a combination of them seeing the pictures and you keeping your cool, because again, we've dealt with a lot of photographers in the family who don't always keep their cool, especially when everything's kind of going, you know, again, just as chaotic that day, where we're not necessarily seeing it, but you being the photographer, you're seeing everybody wants to take a picture with the bride and groom, everybody wants to, you know, be photographed. So the fact that you were able to wrangle people in and everyone get what they wanted, it was perfect, and we didn't get any complaints at all from the family. They were actually very excited and blown away by it.
We had a pretty large wedding. We had 350 people plus, you know. So it was you know so you did a great job, just kind of accommodating. But going back to the first day, so I guess the first day would be the Sikh wedding. You showed up super early. I mean, we all had to show up super early, and you were there. You were the first one there, so that was once again.
And we had to be there at 7 in the morning.
Right.
So
you were
going back to what time you got there. And, you know, that was, you know, that, so you did a great job just kind of accommodating. But going back to what time you got there. And you were already there. So
you were already there.
going back to what time you got there.
And not knowing the customs and the courtesies that go behind a Sikh wedding, you picked up on them. And actually, let me rewind. You took the time to set up a separate interview for us to come out to the Gurdwara, which is the temple. So you wanted to be familiar. You know, I really appreciated the fact that you wanted to be familiar with the area that you want to, you know, operate in. Excuse my military lingo. So you know that you wanted to operate in, so you can get comfortable. So the day of, there's no, you know, misinterpretation. There's no issues. So you already know where it is, what time you have to be there, and what you have to do. I really appreciated that. So you were already there. You already knew the customs, courtesies. So it was a very easy immersion. Okay, that was the face.
Complete shock.
So we were coming in to actually drop off the pictures that we wanted to put on our album, and Alan had the intuition and the foresight to actually go ahead and do an album for us already using his professional photography experience and expertise. And I mean, it's speechless. We walked in, and she almost cried, and I mean, it was just it's incredible. It captures from beginning to end everything that we wanted as far as a story of the day. And something I really want to emphasize is that when before we got married and before we started the wedding process, I told Mick that there's two things I want to really, really pour money into. And if people say, well, wedding, it's an investment. For me, investments should gain in value over time. And there's only really two things, if not just one thing, that really gains that value and gives you return over and over again from a wedding, and that's the pictures. So if there's something that I really want to spend money on, or get a really good quality professional, it's going to be the pictures. This product that Alan has produced is to the utmost quality. I'm blown away. I mean, I really, really appreciate the fact that I appreciate his passion. I appreciate his time spent, and the fact that he actually cares to go through and really capture our emotions without actually us telling it to him. And that really says a lot about his professionalism and his love for the actual profession.
Yeah, he actually picked every single picture and more that I had actually wanted to be in the album. So I was I just couldn't believe that that it was so well put together, and it actually told the story. Again, our wedding went over several days, and he was able to capture all of those days in this album in chronological order. And
I mean, look at that! I look like the man. I look like the man in that picture. I look like some kind of North Indian hero. Man, that's awesome. I'm sorry, go ahead.
No, it's fine. But yeah, I mean, it was just amazing. It's absolutely amazing.
Thank you. Anything else? Thank you guys
No.
so much.
Yeah,
Oh,
great.
no, thank you. Because you could get a okay photographer, or you can get a good photographer, and a year later, 2 years later, you can look through the pictures and you can say, well, I've already seen them, over and over again. Okay, I'm starting to kind of forget the wedding. But if you get a great photographer like Alan, what you do is you relive that moment for the first time over and over again, every time.